3, 2, 1, and we're on.
And we're on.
Hey everyone, I'm Leigh, I'm the daughter.
Hey, I'm Lori, I'm the mom.
How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, you look pretty.
Oh, well, so do you.
Oh, thanks.
I love your bright blue sweater.
I know, I had to be comfy today.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel like curling up and taking a nap.
I always feel like curling up and taking a nap.
I know.
Yeah,
What is that, nap? What's that?
Well, it has been raining a lot here in Seattle, you don't say.
Yeah, it's better than snow. I'll take that any
I'll
day.
take it too.
Hey.
So it does make you just want to like curl up and listen to the rain and take a little nap.
I know, because we're like talking to some of the folks back in Pittsburgh, and they're like getting hit hard with snow
The crap ton of snow
and the temperature, and I'm like 50 degrees and rain here. I'll take that any damn day.
No, it feels like spring back in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? So it's like it doesn't feel that different.
Yeah.
It's just we're missing the snow, which I will gladly take.
Not missing the snow.
I am not missing the snow.
I am not.
Okay, so Jake asked me something today.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of a good answer.
And you gonna put me on the spot?
I'm gonna put you on the spot. You have to say.
Oh no.
Okay, he asked me, what is something that you've seen that you definitely weren't supposed to see? Okay. And my answer was I feel like everyone probably has one of these. Like I was watching someone's dog once and I was looking for something and I opened a drawer and it was their kink drawer. And no shame, do your thing. But I was like, oops, that's not for me. I'm not supposed to be in there.
I'm just gonna
slowly push that back.
There were no snacks in that drawer.
That's exactly what I was looking for. I was
I know you, girl. I know you.
Where's the honey pretzels? This person always had these honey pretzels. That's not what I found.
That's not what I'm.
Nope. Some handcuffs with fur on them. No. I'm like, no.
Oh, okay. I have one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So when I was little, I was probably maybe 10 or 12.
Okay.
We had chores at home. And so my chore was to, fold the laundry and put it away, which is kind of weird when you think about it, like putting your parents' laundry away.
Dude, are you going to tell me something weird about my grandparents? Oh, no.
I remember it as vividly as if it were yesterday because, I was young and impressionable. So I opened up Pap's sock drawer to put his socks away. And there was a stash of condoms, and I was absolutely mortified.
Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, but it was just when you're young, and then you're
not supposed to see that.
Oh my God, my parents have sex? What?
Yeah.
The thought of your parents having sex, nobody ever wants to go there.
No, I really don't.
Exactly, right? No. Now that you say so.
I'm now that I think about it.
And when you're young, you're because you're just kind of learning about sex, and then you don't ever think that your parents do that.
No, they don't do that. Ew. Gross. And now you brought my grandparents into this? What the hell?
Well, just, I'll scar you a little bit more.
I know. So it really got me, I don't know. I just think that that's an interesting question. I would be curious what other people's responses to that were.
Absolutely.
I'm sure it all has to do with, that. But
well, yeah. I'm sure if I, had time to think about it, I could probably come up with some, some doozies. Some whoppers.
No, I liked the condoms in the sock drawer. Wow. Pick a more, way to be original, Pap. Oh, boy. All right. Well, there's that little tidbit for you. I hope that gets people thinking because I would seriously love to know. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was a good one. Oh, my.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, you want to jump right in?
Yeah, you want to jump in? I'm ready, girl. I'm ready to roll.
Are you strapped in that coaster?
I'm strapped in the coaster.
Toot, toot. Oh, no, that's a train.
I don't think a coaster makes
It doesn't, does it?
No,
that was a
I don't
train.
think so.
Toot, toot.
Toot.
I like the strapped in. You don't really get strapped into a train.
No,
it's kind of
you
chill.
don't.
You just kind of sit down. Are you sitting in the train? That's what I'm going to say.
twists and turns of the train.
Hey, there have been some train accidents. You never know.
I don't think a seatbelt would help you in that
Oh my
instance,
gosh.
right?
All right. Well, you know what? All right, we'll go back to the are you
I do have
strapped
a
in?
bone to pick with you.
no.
I know at the beginning of the year when we sat down and we had our meeting,
Oh no,
Jake was like, is there anything that, we could be doing? Jake's like, if you could just hold the swearing down a little
I think
bit.
I've been doing kind of good. Both of you.
He's shaking his head. No, I just listened to the last episode and you were like MF and L. Like,
Hey,
every other word. And I was like, dude, we're not.
Am I dropping the ball?
I think we're just gonna have to go.
Listen. I wish I could, but I can't.
You can't.
So
you don't
won't.
even know you're doing it.
No, I don't.
It's just you, girl. It's
Hey,
you.
I read somewhere that really creative, intelligent people swear a lot.
Yeah.
So there, stuff that in your pipe and smoke it. I will try really hard this episode.
No, I think that you should just be yourself. Be
tru-
you. Be you, girl.
Be true to
Be you.
Okay,
That's
fine.
right.
F it, I will. All right, here we go.
Okay.
I am doing today. I don't know why I said it like that. Today. I am doing Phoebe Halliwell.
Ooh, fun.
Ooh.
Phoebe was always your favorite.
Yeah.
Your favorite.
Again, we're still on no alcohol and we still can't talk.
I better start drinking just so
I almost feel like I talk better with the alcohol, which is kind of amazing.
All right, exactly.
Yes, she's my favorite. I always resonated most with her. She's, of course, from Charmed. And if you haven't seen Charmed and you want to know the rundown, we did a Charmed episode way back towards the beginning. So you can go and listen to that to get like the scoop of the show as a whole. I'm going to focus on Phoebe.
Nice.
She's one of the Charmed sisters from the original Charmed. Okay, now there is a Charmed reboot/remake. I haven't checked that out yet. I'm going to, and I plan on doing it for the podcast, but it's a whole series, so it's going to take some time.
It's going to take some time, yeah.
Yes, these came out a million years ago, so they're already in my melon.
Yep.
Okay, so Phoebe is played by Alyssa Milano. And here's a little rundown of her character. She is the third Charmed one.
Yes.
Okay, so in the original, she's the youngest sister. But then later on in the series, another sister comes in and then she becomes the middle.
Right.
Okay? I would say she represents the element of water.
Oh, yes.
Which is interesting
right.
because her birthday, the character's birthday, is November 2nd, which makes her a Scorpio.
Oh, then she is water.
She is water.
How fun.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
She is free-spirited, creative, rebellious, confident, resourceful, and compassionate.
Sounds like an Aquarius.
I know, right? I know. Yeah, she's definitely water, but a little bit of air in there. Okay. She is probably, at least at the beginning, the most dedicated to her craft.
Yes.
So remember, she's the one that kind of like, what?
She starts the whole thing.
She does. She's like, listen, guys, we're witches. Like, get it together.
Hey, I opened this book, and by the way,
we're witches, and get on the same page. Yeah, so she's like, she's into it. Yeah, right off the bat.
She's the instigator.
Yeah, her powers are mostly passive. So she has premonitions, she can levitate, and she has the power of empathy, which is going to be kind of our lesson today.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That's a toughie.
Yeah.
So I picked one specific episode. I'm going to give you a really, really short recap because not all of the information is necessary for what,
Right.
It is season 6, episodes 1 and 2. It's like a part 1, part 2.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to butcher this.
Are you?
Yeah, Valhalla of the Dolls. Did I nail that?
Valhalla of the Dolls?
Yeah, kind of
like Valhalla.
Yeah.
But Valley of the Dolls.
Did I kill
It's a mashup.
It's a fucking mashup.
Nice.
Yeah, so did I say it right?
Yeah.
Valhalla.
Valhalla of the Dolls. All right.
Yes.
I gotcha.
Okay, so here's the rundown of that episode. The Charmed ones are fighting demons like usual. And again, if you don't know what we're talking about, go back. Piper, one of the sisters, has just been left by her husband, Leo, who is now missing. Sad.
Oh, Leo.
But she is surprisingly acting very happy and chipper. because we later find out that Leo has put a spell on her to shield her from emotional pain. Okay. But Phoebe points out how sad Piper is, even though everyone else is like, what do you mean she's sad?
Yeah.
She seems like totally fine. But
Yeah.
Phoebe's like, no, she's so sad. Phoebe is seeing a lot in the episode that no one can see.
Okay.
She seems to know what everyone is feeling, and she's like calling it out. She's like, oh no, you're nervous. I can tell. Every time she feels something, little harp music plays.
Oh my gosh. That's
It
so
kills
funny.
me. She's like, you're nervous. I can feel it. And it's like, ding, ding, ding. I'm like, okay, guys. Okay, early 2000s. Chill. It's hilarious. She says that she doesn't know what's going on. So this is unusual for her character, right? It's season 6. This isn't usual. She doesn't know what's going on. She's just been feeling a lot of weird vibes lately, is how she puts it.
Weird vibes.
Weird vibes. At one point, a little girl falls off of her bike and is crying about because she like hurt her knee. Right. Instantly, Phoebe starts to cry and feels like she is also in pain. Okay. Before the feeling just disappears suddenly, and she's like, "What the hell was that?" Okay. See where I'm getting at?
I see where you're going.
Okay. She realizes she has a new power. She is an empath.
Ooh, scary.
You're like, no emotions.
No.
Okay, so the girls eventually find Leo being held captive by Valkyries. Oh my God. By Valkyries.
Okay.
Which is another cool thing I think we should talk about at some point.
Right on.
But they go to save him. When Piper sees Leo, the shield spell that he put on her wears off and her pain comes rushing back to her. And it's like unimaginable, right?
Built
Her
up,
heart
right?
is broken.
Oh, no.
Phoebe begins to feel that pain as well. And she like is in physical pain. It's like hurting her.
Yeah.
She's like, her heart is breaking.
Right.
I can literally feel her heart breaking. So the pain of all of it transfers to Phoebe, who begins like acting out against Leo. She's like punching him and she's like, you hurt me. Like she can't control it. So she's acting as though she's Piper.
Right.
Okay, so that's the only rundown I'm going to give you of the episode because that's like the important tidbits. So I want to talk about empaths.
Yes.
Because this is always something that I've been really interested in.
Yeah, because you are one.
Because I am one.
Yeah, you are.
Yes. Okay, so in the show, okay, this is like, remember, this is like a magical world in Charmed, right?
Right.
Those with the ability to feel others' emotions. That's how an empath is defined. Okay. Empaths can use this power to heal others' emotional pain and guide them through it. In order to use this power, you must embrace every emotion, not fight against it. I can see the look on your face. You don't like that. You're like,
Yeah.
How much water is in your chart?
I don't know if I have very much water, do I?
I doubt it.
Oh,
No, that's not in a bad way. Damn, I barely have any.
yeah.
I don't. I'm mostly air and fire, if that is.
I think, is my polar opposite Pisces? I think
Fact check,
maybe.
Jake.
I think maybe.
Of a Virgo,
Might-
that makes sense.
might explain.
Logic versus dream.
Might explain a lot.
Pisces.
Yep, I knew.
Yeah, the logical versus the dreamer. It makes sense.
Say I'm a dreamer.
Okay.
Go.
Oh boy. Okay, so this power is very rare. Only a select few are given the full-on power in this world. It can stretch through different realities and planes of existence, right? So if you are an empath, you can feel anyone's emotions anywhere, anytime. Empaths usually become teachers, counselors, psychiatrists, people that emotionally aid others, right? Phoebe becomes a columnist.
Columnist, yes.
Columnist.
Yeah.
Why does that sound weird?
No, it
You
sounds
ever
right.
say a word and it sounds wrong?
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You're like,
That just
doesn't sound
happened to
right.
me.
Yeah, or when you spell a word and you're like, that just
That's not
doesn't
right.
look right.
And you Google it a million
Yeah.
times to make sure. Yeah, I do it all the time. Okay, but she gives advice and uses her powers to like read people and give them love advice and
Oh, yeah.
So that's how she uses her empath powers.
Right.
So in Phoebe, there's also the ability to reflect emotions onto others, tap into others' powers when they are being used, and pass empathy onto others. Okay. At one point, she is also able to see auras because of this empath power, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
In new empaths, or those who are inexperienced, it can cause them to actually act on the emotions they are feeling from others, like when Phoebe starts punching Leo.
Right,
because
right.
she was new to it. She didn't understand how to control it.
How to process.
Right. Throughout the series, she has to learn to shut it on and off and how to protect herself. So, like from season 6 on, they really go into that power, which I really love.
Yeah.
And they explain like how she, shields herself and stuff like that.
Right.
Beings that have the power of empathy on the show include angels, which they're called white lighters on the show, and cupids.
Aww.
Isn't that cute?
Cupids.
Little cupids.
So cupids are empaths.
Not fully,
Yeah.
but partially.
Okay.
From what I was reading, like only with love.
Oh, cute.
Right.
Right.
So in our world, okay, not the charmed world.
Not the charmed world.
Empaths are defined as highly sensitive individuals who have a keen ability to sense what people around them are thinking and feeling. And they are described as emotional sponges. Emotional
sponges. Yep.
Yeah, that sounds really, I relate to that.
Well, yeah, because you are an emotional sponge.
I am an emotional sponge. I can't say emotional. Emotional
sponge.
I have read that those with a lot of water and or air placements in their chart are most likely to be empaths.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how much truth there is in that, but I find that to be interesting. Obviously, water, emotions, depths, deep feelings. So that makes sense to me. Air, I get it, maybe because you're in your mind.
Yeah.
So I could see how that could relate.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm a lot of air.
You do have a lot of air in your chart.
And my Venus is in Pisces.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting?
That's very interesting.
So how I love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so signs you might be an empath. Now, this is mostly from my opinion and experience. I did do a little research, and it's kind of, it's going to depend on the person. This is just generally.
Yeah.
Okay. It is overwhelming to be in crowds.
Absolutely.
Of people. You feel anxious and unable to control your emotions when you're around a lot of people at once. And that's like hit the nail on the head for me. I get really, really overwhelmed if I'm around too many people. Like I can't decipher what's going on.
I can't be in crowds of people because I can feel.
You can feel the energy.
I can feel it coming at me from all angles, and it's overwhelming.
Right. You pick up on the vibe of a room or person or group really easily, and you're very sensitive to energy. So yeah, I mean, it's all about energy in my opinion. You can just like feel it. And then obviously like if you're really a deep empath, like you can just, I'm sure it's different for everyone and they experience it differently, but like if I see someone in pain or they don't even have to tell me they're in pain, I can just like feel it radiating and I feel like I am going through that emotional pain or it taps into something. I kind of wonder if it like the empath would have obviously had to experienced that emotion before to be able to recognize what it is.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you're more prone to like pick up on certain frequencies that you yourself have experienced a lot of, or do you know what I mean?
Well, I think definitely. I mean, this again is just my opinion and my experience. I feel like people that have been through a lot of trauma, people that have been, through a lot in their lives, have the capacity to be more empathic because they do know what that range of emotions is, and you recognize it in others.
That's interesting.
And I'm not saying everybody, because most of the time, to be empathic, it is almost like you have to be outside of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like if you take those emotions and you just like focus on yourself, you're obviously not going to recognize that. But if you're perceptive,
You're right.
just looking at someone, you can read it because you recognize it, I think. You know?
Yeah, that's a really interesting thought because I was thinking about that. Like, I seem to pick up on the bad emotions more, if that makes sense. Like, if I'm around a really happy group of people, that's not hitting me. You know, it's normally like the sadder emotions that that I feel really deeply. So I found that to be kind of interesting. Again, I'm sure it's different from everyone, and I'd be curious to hear other people's takes on it. So another sign you might be an empath is you are able to immediately sense what someone else is feeling because, like I said, you literally feel it. So it's not like there's a difference between just being perceptive and being like, oh, you look sad, right? Like most people, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like literally like you yourself have become sad.
Yeah.
Intimacy can often be overwhelming if you are an empath just because there's really heavy emotions involved.
Yep.
And you often feel drained after being around a lot of people.
Yeah.
You can often feel like your energy is being sucked out of you. Sucked out of you. Not on purpose. You know, people don't do it on purpose, but just because if you don't know how to like, you know, protect yourself, it can be really draining. So that's when we get into like coping techniques, or like how to protect your energy and yourself. So here's again just stuff that has worked for me. I did do some research, but you could find your own. Literally visualizing a shield. And this is advice I actually got from a medium. You remember when we went to this psychic fair in Pittsburgh, and I had like a very clear question that I was going to this psychic / medium with. And the whole time she just talked to me about how I was an empath and I needed to learn how to shield myself. Like the whole time she was like, yeah, your question not relevant. We're going to need to deal with this. I was like, oh shit. So she said literally, if you know, are feeling overwhelmed or you don't want the energy coming in to, with your, you know, in your mind, literally visualize like a wall going up or like a protective bubble going over you. I'm sure it's different for everyone. I do the wall thing.
Yeah.
I will literally be like, no, wall.
Yeah.
Blocked.
Yeah. Shut down.
But she did stress to me to make sure you're learning the difference between harmful energy coming in and not, right? Like you don't want to shut out all every emotion. You don't want to be cold, which I'll totally admit it. I can sometimes have the tendency to be very like, just because if I'm personally overwhelmed, I'm like, I can't do any of it. And that's not, you know.
Well, and I think too, you know, probably you'll find a correlation between empathic people and introverts because there is a lot of need to recharge. You know, and like whether that's meditation, whether that's you know, just spending time, but you know, you have to recharge.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's one of the techniques is to meditate or to have quiet / alone time when you need it. And to be clear about this in your relationships. Like, listen, sometimes it's not personal. I'm just going to need to recharge the batteries there. You can also, this was an interesting one, create an actual barrier. So, right, like say you're at work and that's when it gets triggered or it gets really loud. You can literally, like at your desk or whatever, form a little barrier or a circle around you of like crystals or plants.
Get the salt.
Salt or pictures, anything that calms you to literally form like an energy shield, which I thought was a really great idea. Identifying what triggers you the most is definitely important. Like we said, like I know like parades. No. We've talked about this before too. Like no, it's just there's too many people.
My nightmare would be being at the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Day parade.
Right.
Too
much energy for me personally.
If I were watching from a window,
Watching from
something.
afar with some binocs,
I couldn't be in those crowds.
I don't want to be in it. But it's going to be different for everyone. So figuring out what, triggers it for you, and to set clear boundaries. That's definitely an important one.
Yeah.
Like, no, I can't go to this event, or no, I need alone time.
Yeah.
So those are some techniques that have helped me. Here, I'm going to give you some crystals and houseplants and other things that are good for this.
Love that.
Okay, so crystals. Amethyst promotes relaxation and has a calming energy to it. Citrine promotes grounding, keeps you kind of level-headed, and it's a very warm crystal. Black tourmaline is for protection from negative energy specifically, and is also grounding. Fluorite, which is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I've got my eyes peeled for
some fluorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's cleansing and it neutralizes energy. It's just like, it's a good calming one.
Yeah.
Rose quartz, obviously. This is a big one for me. Like, if you have a problem, get some rose quartz.
Oh, yeah.
Chances are it'll help.
I used to wear that necklace of rose quartz always.
Yeah.
I should find that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It heals the heart. It keeps your heart open, but, healed. Big self-love stone, peace and harmony. And this is just personally for me, like, again, this is going to, if you find a stone that feels right, like you put it in your hand, it feels right, take it. Okay? Tiger's eye.
Pay for it first if you're at a store.
Don't steal. Don't do drugs and don't steal.
Tiger's eye was always yours.
Tiger's eye, literally, again, kind of along the lines of rose quartz. I don't care what problem I have, rose quartz is going to go in my pocket. Like, it's just my stone.
Yeah.
Remember,
I always wore that big carnelian.
Yeah, you were always big on carnelian. That's a beautiful stone. Tiger's eye, I've had a lot of, I always like to wear like a ring or a bracelet that has tiger's eye on it, because it's big on protection, but just me, it fits my energy, and it's just like I need to have it to feel grounded.
Yeah.
So go out and find what crystal that is for you. That's, part of the fun. Go find a local witchy shop.
Or
wear
rock
a mask.
shop.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Mask up.
Mask up. And well, I guess that's bad to promote, but you need to touch them, right?
Yeah.
You kind of need to touch them.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, or sometimes they'll just be,
they'll speak to you from
they will.
afar.
They will, yeah.
Yeah, I'm big on but I'm like that with kind of everything. Like, I'm a very hands-on person, so maybe it's not like that for everyone. That's interesting.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay, so some houseplants.
Yes.
Ooh, snake plants.
Oh, you have a couple of those
I do. There's one in our living room and there's one in our bedroom. And I didn't even know. When I got them, I was just like, I like you.
You're coming home.
They absorb negative energy and cleanse a space.
Nice.
Yes. And they're really easy to take care of.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of just like to be left alone.
Bonus
points. It's hard to kill.
They kind of like to be left alone easier.
Yeah. I know. Watch, I say that and I'm going to go out and my snake plants are going to be dead.
Flopped over.
A philodendron promotes love and happiness. And ivy. Which, again, I have ivy.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of ivy
I just
plants.
repotted that baby girl yesterday.
I know. She got an upgrade.
She did. She got a massage.
I know. They are for protection and healing. So they're good to keep around.
Yeah.
Some other things you can do. Take a cleansing bath with salt and essential oils, like lavender or rose is a good one. Cleanse your space often. Can be done with sound, salt water, or plants.
Sage.
Yep. Drink some calming tea.
Oh, yes.
Again, lavender and rose.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all about that rose.
That's when you were saying about your creating the barrier in your space. I was thinking somebody would say, why do you have that humongous jar of lavender sitting next to you?
No reason.
Well, Sally.
Look away. You just throw some lavender in her face.
Wing, wing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You can also look into Reiki, which is a form of energy healing. And I know you have done some studying on Reiki.
Yeah, I'm a level 1 Reiki practitioner.
Yeah, our good friend Deppy, who is also like a big Uncle Bob supporter.
Yeah.
I know she's very much into Reiki. So you can either, get into learning it for yourself and you can perform Reiki on yourself, or you can go to a practitioner.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
I love that.
is empaths.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I thought that was a good one. I feel like especially now, there's a lot going on.
I think there is, and I think it's important for younger people to know that are like don't realize what having empathic tendencies. I think sometimes you think there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? You think that, you are isolated, or you kind of keep to yourself, or like you said,
Don't like to be around anybody.
don't like to be around a lot of people, and that, society says, well, that there's something wrong with you, and there's no, don't think that.
Right. Yeah, in some cases, you might just be an empath.
Yeah.
So go watch Charmed, especially those later seasons. Like I said, they go into it more. Obviously, it's a little dramatic because it's a magical TV show, but I think they do a lot of like how she works through it. So it's really educational.
Yeah.
And Phoebe's a great character.
She is a great character. Yeah.
So that is Phoebe Halliwell, an empath. Woo!
Woo! I love it. I love it.
You're up
Awesome.
to bat, girl.
Am I up?
Yep.
All right. Do you know what I'm doing today?
I do, because I heard you watching it.
I'm doing a fun one today.
Yay.
And it was just a little bit of a stretch, for our,
For her magical umbrella.
For our magical umbrella, but I pushed the boundary. I pushed the boundary because I don't think, you can be a pop culture, podcast and not do The Goonies.
The Goonies. I love this movie.
It
fits.
Does it?
It's
I think
magical.
it does. All right. We're making it. We're making it magical.
Hey, all you, shut up. It's magical.
I say it's magical.
Yeah.
All right. So The Goonies, 1985. What a great year.
Was it?
I don't know. I graduated in 1985.
Oh, tight. I wasn't here yet.
You weren't. No. So it's considered an adventure comedy. Now, it had a budget of $19 million and did $124 at the box office.
Whoa.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby, Goonies. All right.
Written by Chris Carter, directed by Richard Donner, and produced by Steven Spielberg.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why do I must just not know what he does. Because every time he pops up, I'm like, really?
What do you do?
I'm not sure, apparently.
Little fact check here. It was actually written by Chris Columbus.
Damn it. Where'd I get Carter at?
Mr. Chris Carter wrote The X-Files.
Oh, burn. You just self-burned.
So Chris Columbus. Who did not sail the ocean blue.
I knew you were going to say something about it.
Not that Christopher Columbus that came in,
Not that bag.
Not that bag. All right, yeah. No, this Chris Columbus wrote The Goonies.
Okay, fantastic.
All right, directed by Richard Donner, produced by Steven Spielberg.
Yes.
Our cast. It's a great cast.
It is. You're going to give us every cast member, aren't you?
Of course, not everyone. Almost everyone. All right, so Sean Astin plays Mikey. You can't leave a Goonie out.
No.
Josh Brolin plays Brand. Corey Feldman plays Mouth.
Love Corey Feldman.
Jonathan K. Kwan plays Data. Jeff Cohen plays Chunk. Carrie Green plays Andy. Martha Plimpton plays Steph. And I looked at her character and I'm like, she's the original Barb from Stranger Things.
Wait, what do you mean?
She's like
She
Barb.
looks like Barb. Oh my gosh, she does.
She kind of looks like Barb, and she's like the annoying best friend. You know what I mean?
Oh, Barb's inspiration.
I know.
You know what?
So.
I kind of wonder.
I know. I wonder too. Joe Pantaleone, Joey Pants, is Francis Fratelli. Robert Davey is Jake Fratelli. Ann Ramsey is Mama Fratelli. And John Matuzak is Sloth. And Cyndi Lauper is herself. Cyndi Lauper as Cyndi Lauper.
Nailed it. Hey, she wrote a killer theme song for that movie.
I know. It's awesome.
It is.
Don't get ahead of me, Leanne.
Okay, I just felt your eyes dagger across the room.
Zip it.
Okay.
All right, so the plot. A group of land developers are buying up the town of Astoria, Oregon. I often wondered, how do they do that?
You know we can go there.
I know.
Yeah. Am I getting ahead of you again? She just looked at me like,
I will get you. You're giving away all my shit, Leanne.
I'm going to zip it.
So anyway, the land developers are buying up the town of Astoria, Oregon to make way for a posh country club, forcing the residents to pull up anchor. Like where I was going with that.
Anchor,
water.
wink.
Okay. All right. Oh. I just don't know.
All right.
Matthew McConaughey in the house.
Matthew, is that you?
I channeled him. I empathically channeled Matthew.
Oh, shit.
All right, moving on.
You got some tears out of me on that one.
Well, at least these were happy ones this week.
Hey.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Get it together.
All right. Mouth, Data, and Chunk
Mouth, Data, and Chunk.
gather at Mikey and Brand's house, although Chunk is not allowed in until he does the truffle shuffle.
I know, it's so awful.
Which is, and I love that shirt. I'm like, is this where Jimmy Buffett got his
Hawaiian shirts?
It's like, Chunk, do the truffle shuffle.
I know.
Remember we had that magnet up on this? I still have it. It's awesome.
I love Chunk.
I know. So they gather at Mikey and Brand's house. Brand is babysitting.
Okay.
Right. And the kids, who call themselves the Goonies, are spending one last weekend together before they all have to move away.
Oh, no.
Right?
I'm devastated.
So they go up into the attic looking for something fun to do and stumble upon an old treasure map and a newspaper article of a man named Chester Copperpot.
Chester Copperpot?
Chester Copperpot, who went in search of the pirate One-Eyed Willie's treasure, but was never heard from again.
Oh.
Bye-bye, Chester Copperpot.
Oh,
The band of misfits decide to set out on the adventure and find the hidden treasure and save their homes.
hell yeah.
Sounds like the making of a good film.
Right?
So the gang has to kind of subdue Brand because they're not supposed to leave the house. So it's they wrap his exercise equipment around him or something and strap him to the chair, and they all run out.
Right.
So he kind of frees himself, and he's going to run after them, or he's going to be in big trouble. And they slashed his. They were smart. They slashed his bicycle tires, and so he had to ride this little kitty bike,
little tricycle or whatever.
Yeah, and I just bring that up because as he's riding down the road, he runs into Andy and Steph, and that's how they all link up. Because Andy and Brand. They're crushing on each other.
Little love connection.
And so the three of them go off after the little gang of Goonies.
Why didn't I have a friend group that called themselves something cool?
I don't know.
I didn't have friends. I figured that out. It wasn't difficult. Okay.
Oh no, you had a couple.
You're like,
which is more than some people.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah. All right. So first stop on the map is an old abandoned restaurant. Weird, right?
Spooky.
They need to go in there to find the hidden tunnels that is going to lead them to the treasure.
Give me the goods.
Yeah. It happens to sit upon this restaurant, which coincidentally is being occupied as a hideout for the Fratelli crime family. What? Let's throw in another element here. Right. Brand, Andy, and Steph catch up with the others, and they locate a tunnel in the basement as they're trying to hide from the Fratellis.
Okay.
And they realize that the tunnel is going to take them down into the caves and stuff.
Right.
And start this exciting adventure full of clues and booby traps and,
Booby traps.
set up by the notorious, not B.I.G., but One-Eyed Willie to keep his stash safe.
O-E-W. that took me way longer than I would like
One-Eyed
to
Willie,
admit.
O-E-W.
The notorious O-E-W. A mashup.
That is a mashup.
TM.
Trademark. Unfortunately, Chunk is caught by the Fratellis,
Oh, no.
and they lock him up with their brother, Sloth.
Oh.
He's a little scary.
Oh,
Looking
Sloth
at
loves
first, he
Chunk.
scares Chunk until Chunk gives him a baby Ruth. And they bond.
It's so cute.
And they're BFFs. The Fratellis interrogate Chunk until he reveals the Goonies' plan to find the hidden treasure.
okay.
And then they're off in hot pursuit because they're like, hey,
We want the cash.
we want the cash. We want the goods. So after much zigging and zagging through a maze of booby traps and the discovery of Chester Copperpot's skeleton,
Oh, bye-bye.
and the reason they know that is because Mikey finds his wallet, which has a Mickey Mantle baseball card and his driver's license in it. So
Chester Copperpot.
Chester Copperpot, I see the resemblance. He didn't make it out.
Oh, R.I.P.
I know, R.I.P. So the Goonies hit the jackpot, finding One-Eyed Willie's ship, and once aboard, all of the mountains of treasure.
Hell
and
yeah.
One-Eyed Willie himself is actually there.
One-Eyed Willie.
He's not alive, but
He's chilling with all the gold.
He's chilling with all of his, he died hoarding all of his treasures. All right, so Mikey ends up having a little tender moment with One-Eyed Willie's skeleton, and he tells him that he's the original Goonie, One-Eyed Willie,
Oh.
right? And he has a few tears. And then they start filling their pockets with the treasure.
Absolutely. As one should.
But unfortunately, they are caught by the Fratellis, who plan to take the treasure for themselves and make the kids walk the plank.
Oh, no.
But Sloth and Chunk appear.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, you guys! Sloth rips off his shirt to reveal a Superman shirt underneath and pretty much saves the darn day.
Love it. Sloth loves Chunk.
And the Fratellis agreed to grab the treasure. They set off a booby trap that was sure to be the end of everyone. But they all barely escape, but lost all of the treasure
Oh, what the
in trying to get out. So
son of a
falls out of their pockets and all that stuff. What the hell? What the
bummer.
The Fratellis are arrested, and it's weird because it seems like all of their family is waiting on the shore for
Like,
them.
how'd you
It's
know
like,
we were going to be here?
How'd you know?
I always thought that.
Didn't you? It's
Yeah.
like,
Was there a
why?
memo?
I know. And then there was like the cops were there, the television camera crews were there, and it's like,
How'd you guys know?
how'd you guys even know I was here, right?
Hello?
Hello? So parents are waiting on the shore. The Fratellis are arrested, but no one believes their story that they were hunting for treasure and found Chester Copperpot's goods. Well, no, not Chester Copperpot. One-Eyed Willie's goods, right?
The notorious OEW.
Exactly. Just as Mikey's dad is about to sign the papers relinquishing their property, they find a handful of jewels in Mikey's pocket.
Yes.
And the town is saved. We see the pirate ships.
Just from one little pocket of jewels.
I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
The town is saved. We see the pirate ship broke out of the cave and is sailing. So now they have to all believe them because they're like, oh,
Look over
look
there.
at that big pirate ship. And Chunk adopts Sloth.
Okay, love that
He's
so
like,
much.
you're going to live with me now because I love you. I know. And they all live happily ever after.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love this movie. It's
Isn't
a feel-good movie.
It is.
Yeah.
It's such a cute movie. It's just fun. We used to watch it all the time.
We did.
When you were younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some fun facts.
I love a fun fact.
Let me roll them out.
Okay.
I have often wondered how the few jewels in Mikey's pocket saved the whole town.
Right.
And you just asked me that.
Right.
So here's how it goes. According to the International Maritime Salvage Law, which we kind of touched on a little bit in Ghost Ship, The rights to a salvage vessel and its contents go to the person or persons who first successfully bring something off the vessel in question. So
Okay.
since he had the jewels in his pocket, which came from the ship and everything on it belonged to him.
To Mikey. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
That was a lot of damn treasure, man.
I'll say.
Right? Mikey, you ain't never working a day in your life. No. So that's how.
Well,
Because I
okay.
often thought,
Just that little
just
pocket of
those
jewels?
few couple jewels, that's not really, but that's
not
why.
adding up. Wow.
Yeah, that's
okay,
why.
fun.
Yeah.
Something I didn't know I needed to know, but I did.
But you did, because
Yeah.
now you'll look at those jewels and say, damn, and there's a ship and all that on is yours too, buddy.
Nice.
Yeah. The pirate ship was actually real. It took 2.5 months to build, and all the shots seen in the movie were shot aboard the ship.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And it was modeled after famous swashbuckler Errol Flynn's boat in his movies.
Imagine being like one of the little kid actors and getting to like play
my
on a
gosh.
pirate ship.
Oh my gosh.
That is
yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, that would be super cool. Errol Flynn figures prominently in the movie. Obviously, they built the ship as a replica of his in the movies, and he is actually can be seen when they bring Chunk down to tie him up with Sloth. Sloth is watching Errol Flynn.
Oh, yeah.
An
yeah.
Errol Flynn movie, and then
Okay.
they use Errol Flynn, like the music from his movies, in like
Throughout the score?
interweave it
Oh,
throughout the score.
cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And once the movie was over, they they put an ad out and said, somebody, if you want to come take this boat, anybody that wants it can come take it. And they had no takers, and they ended up like thrashing it. Like,
Dude, I would have fucking taken the boat.
like, I'll take that boat. Yeah.
I would have lived on it.
Right? Yeah. Right. And Astoria is a real place. Astoria, Oregon.
I'm going to act like I didn't know that. What?
What? I am shocked. But in my research on, some research on pirating, they were saying that would not be a place like that area. The Pacific Northwest would not be a place where pirates would have. So it was kind of not realistic.
Interesting.
I guess the way of the trade fairs and stuff like that, it wouldn't have come across that.
Well, we'll ignore it because it's close to us and I want to go see it.
Yeah. They actually have like celebrations there. There's a Goonies Day.
Oh,
In-
my
yeah.
God, fun.
Yeah, right? We got to go.
Okay.
On the list. All right. So, the newspaper article and photo of Chester Copperpot that they find is actually Keenan Wynn. He keeps coming up.
Who's Keenan Wynn?
He's the Winter Warlock. And remember his dad, Edwin, was Uncle Albert and the Mad Hatter. And
We
Mary
have
Poppins.
had this exact conversation.
Yeah, we have, right?
I'm like, what the are you talking
The
about?
Winds. Yeah. All right. Cyndi Lauper co-wrote the theme song, Goonies Are Good Enough, which tells the movie's story as a musical.
Love it.
So you can she gets credit as playing herself because you can see the Goonies watching the video when they're at Mikey and Brand's early on in the film. The video's on the
Way
television.
to go, Cindy.
Cindy makes an
She's
appearance.
like, I'm going to get in there somehow.
I'm getting in there. The late Corey Haim auditioned for the role of Mouth, which went to Corey Feldman.
Right.
Right? And that was the first time those two met.
Oh.
And they became best friends and went on to make 6 movies together in addition to The Lost Boys.
I love it.
I know.
I love the Corys.
I know. And see, I must have just typed wrong because here I have Chris Columbus also wrote Gremlins.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's Easter eggs all throughout the movie, nodding to all of these people's, like there's to Spielberg movies. But the big Easter egg for Chris Columbus was when Chunk calls the cops to tell him about the Fratellis. And they're like, they don't believe him because he tends to lie.
Right.
He's like, yeah, it's like the time you told us about those creatures that multiplied when you throw water on them.
I did know that.
So that's the big Easter egg there. And the Lou Gehrig baseball card that Mikey finds on Chester Copperpot is worth $275,000 at the time he finds it.
So, Mikey,
Hello.
you were really sad.
Mikey, you rich boy, right? Okay, so I thought my lesson, because it's kind of a stretch, but I thought let's talk about pirates a little bit.
I'm down.
And like, where does this buried treasure, why did they bury treasure? Like,
Yeah.
what is that about?
Yeah. Okay. I'm
Okay,
down.
so I'm just, going to tap on that a little bit.
I'm ready.
All right, so the earliest documentation of pirates dates back to the 14th century BC.
Woo.
That's a long time, right?
Like that
Holy
is a long time.
But
Damn.
but the golden age of pirates that most of us are familiar with is about 1650 to 1730s.
Okay.
And then they were all pretty much wiped out.
Gotcha.
All right. Piracy is defined as an act of robbery or criminal violence by ship or boat, attacking another ship or a coastal area,
Okay.
typically with the goal of stealing cargo and other valuable items or properties, or those who conduct acts of piracy are called pirates.
Pirates.
There you go.
Okay.
So, hidden treasure and X marks the spot
Yes.
is sadly pretty much a fallacy,
What do you mean?
right? There are very few accounts of pirates actually burying treasure.
What? Okay.
Mainly because the pirates were not a frugal bunch and pretty much blew their plunder on gambling, women, and booze.
I was gonna say it's gotta be some
Rum.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there was nothing to bury.
So there
Okay,
pretty much
go.
wasn't anything to bury. The two most well-known accounts of hidden treasure is in 1573 when Francis Drake raided a Spanish mule train, confiscated several tons of gold and silver, which he hid and then later retrieved when the coast was clear.
Oh, I see.
And then in 1699, Billy the Kid dropped anchor near New York, where he had buried, by today's equivalent, millions in gold and jewels on a little island called Gardiner's Island. But he was quickly caught and returned to England, where he was executed and hanged, never getting to enjoy that bounty. Actually, the owner of Gardner Island dug that up.
Just stumbled upon it.
Well, the story goes that he ran into them when he was trying to bury the treasure, and so they knew about it, but he told them, if you ever touch this treasure, I will kill you and your entire family. But then once they found out he was dead, they called the British Army to come and take the treasure back to the crown.
Oh.
Which I'm sure they were rewarded, but whatever.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm taking that for myself.
I thought that's what you were going to say, and I was going to be so happy for them, but...
Right. Nope. So sorry. So he was actually hanged, and that was it.
Bummer. Okay.
Yeah. So then where does this idea come from? Like
the treasure hunt.
Yeah. Where does that come from?
I don't know.
All right. Well, in 1724, so remember we said the Golden Age ended around the 1730s.
Okay.
In 1724, Captain Charles Johnson published a collection of biographies on these desperados entitled A General History of the Robberies and Murders of the Most Notorious Pirates. Okay, in these tales, he secures the legends of pirates Black Bart and Blackbeard.
Okay.
Okay. Then in 1719, Daniel Defoe writes Robinson Crusoe.
Okay. Am I supposed to know what that is?
Robinson Crusoe?
Yeah.
What?
Why did you just look at me like I don't know what that is?
Oh my gosh, Jake, did you ever read Robinson Crusoe?
It's been a while, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now hold on. Stop ganging up on me. What is it? I've never even heard of it.
What?
I've never heard of it in my life. What is it, a book?
God, what kind of parent was I?
I don't know. We've established that is it a book?
Yes.
What is it about? Pirates?
Yes.
Why are you looking at me like that? Well,
Probably she didn't have to read that in school.
Well, my bad. Okay.
Well, let's see.
Move past the disappointment.
I know. All right, so moving on. So Captain Johnson's account, we talked about him, his collection of biographies.
Oh, yes.
His account directly influenced Robert Louis Stevenson's 1883 book titled Treasure Island.
Okay, I know that one.
All right. About buccaneers and buried gold. And this story has had an enormous influence in the popularization of pirates, including the elements of treasure maps. X marks the spot. And schooners, tropical islands, one-legged seamen bearing parrots on their shoulders. That all came from Treasure Island and kind of solidified the pop culture history
Of the pirate.
of the pirate.
I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, because one of the characters in Treasure Island, of course, is Long John Silver, who then became
The restaurant.
a popular fast food restaurant chain.
I used to like your chicken fingers when I was younger.
Great hush puppies.
Put some vinegar on that. It wasn't bad.
Good stuff. Oh my gosh. That followed by Captain Hook and Peter Pan in 1904. The glamour and popularity of pirates,
Set in stone.
was set in stone.
Wow.
So, I mean, let's really look at pirates. They weren't really nice folks, right?
well, in pop culture, yeah. Or no,
I
you
mean,
just mean
I'm
generally?
talking in general.
I've never met one.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Well, most of them had scurvy.
Oh.
And, we go back to the not bathing. They did not bathe.
Someone seriously needs to count how many times you've said that.
I mean, let's look at it. When you see, like, pirates in movies, they're like, oh,
Like Johnny Depp.
yeah. And, I'm thinking of the pirate in Once Upon a Time. Hello, he was cute. Yeah, that series. He was good looking. But they, like, romanticize them. And, that's not what was happening back then.
They were funkadunk.
I'm just saying. And they murdered and robbed from people.
Fantastic.
So, for 200 years, pop culture has romanticized these figures and that have hovered on the edge of the law. So, like, why? Right? In a world where social behavior was so regulated, they signified freedom. And they represented rebellion, anarchy, and they stuck to their own code and were basically the originators of sticking it to the man.
The Outlaws.
The Outlaws,
Yeah.
which is really what One Eye Willie represented to the Goonies, because they were trying to stick it to the man to save their home, right? And that's the bond they had with One-Eyed Willie.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I love that. That's magical.
I think that's magical.
Pirates always pop up in magical stories.
I think so.
So I think that that's totally legitimate.
Yeah.
I really liked that.
was
I
cool.
apparently had nothing. I knew nothing about pirates, apparently. So
I mean, well,
I really didn't. But it's really cool. Yeah, I only really know like the very,
yeah.
the hunks.
Oh, yeah.
They always make them out to be so
the
like
hunky
sexy.
pirates.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they've been so glamorized.
Right. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Goonies is a great one.
It is a good one. That's a good one. If you're looking for a little treasury with your kiddos.
Yeah. That's definitely a good one.
It's definitely a good one to put in there.
Up top, Lore.
Sweet.
What a magical episode.
I loved it.
All right, are you ready?
I am ready, girl.
All right, it's time for Killer Quotes of the Week.
I love it.
Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na.
Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na.
Okay, mine is Those Who Don't Believe in Magic Will Never Find It by Roald Dahl, sent in by @Jenny S. Bradley. Thank you.
Love that one.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
Mine's short and sweet.
What is it?
Yeah. Goonies, never say die.
I love it.
Don't you love it? Sent in by Cindy Lauper. No, I'm just kidding.
Cindy L.
Cindy L. From Los Angeles.
I like that. Oh, that was a good one. That was fresh.
There you go.
All right, everyone, if you want to be next week's Killer Quote of the Week, make sure to follow us on Instagram. You know the spiel. Please check out our Patreon. It would really help the show out. The link is always in our show notes below. There's some cool stuff on there. If you're watching on YouTube, give it a thumbs up.
Yep,
And subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
All right, and we will see you next week.
We will see you next week, TTFN.
Cut, print, check the gate, moving on.